to order for our agenda meeting this morning. Our invocation today will be from Commissioner Chris Gurley. Pledge of Allegiance from Commissioner Antonio Williams. We'll then have the approval of the minutes. And then any discussion on any adjustment on the agenda.
Yes, sir. Under number 8, under the consent agenda, we're going to remove Article 11, Section 3 from that. Section 8, excuse me. And leave Article 11, Section 3 as it is. And then under new business, add a number 3, which is a resolution supporting the quarter-cent sales, local sales tax option. And that will be number 3 under new business.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Commissioner Forster, he told me he was going to be unable to make it today if the board wanted to remove those items until further notice.
All right. Under new business, under item 1, we will remove that item. And if everybody's okay, let's go ahead and leave item 9, which is adding the word comments.
Under
Everybody's
consent
okay with
agenda.
that?
Under the consent agenda.
Under consent agenda, I'm sorry. If everybody's okay with that. All right. Okay, any other adjustments to the agenda? Okay. This morning, we are going to have a Board of Adjustment meeting that is scheduled for 9:30. We will proceed on after we go into our regular meeting and go into consent agenda and handle new business. And hopefully we can have those matters taken care of before the 9:30 Board of Adjustment meeting. We already have had our oaths administered on April the 6th, so we will not need oaths again. And that public hearing is to receive public comments on a special use permit for Oxbow Solar, a solar energy facility located in Indian Springs Township in the vicinity of Emma's Church Road, Arrington Bridge Road, and Sleepy Creek Road. Now, following that public hearing, the board may take action if you so desire. Under consent agenda, Mr. County Manager.
Item number 1 is the applications for elderly or disabled exclusion. Those have been reviewed by our tax office. You'll scroll through them.
Well, we had a number of those.
Yes, sir. Okay, and item number 2 is the application for disabled veterans exclusion, and they have all been reviewed and seem to be in order.
Okay.
And we'll turn it over, item number 3, budget amendments, and we'll turn it over to Janice.
Okay, our first one should be number 603. These first sets of budget amendments are for fiscal year 21-22. The first one's from Literacy Connections, and this is to anticipate reimbursements from Literacy Connections for salary expenses that went over the original budget. $281.26. That is passed through. There's no county dollars. Number 615 is from the Sheriff's Department, and this is to align their expenditure, salary expenditures for past fiscal year. They're reducing salaries and overtime, and mostly to increase for part-time pay. Number 623 is from the Register of Deeds Office, and this is to anticipate grant revenues of $2,000 plus a $2,000 match that the county had already applied to that grant, and we're just separating it out into a separate grant expenditure line item to keep those funds separate. Number 624 is for the sewer fund, and this is to anticipate an overcollection of revenues in the sewer fund in order to pay the city of Goldsboro.
Janice, excuse me, is that more than what we budgeted, the 18,000?
Yes, ma'am, and the 18,000 that we're collecting or appropriating here, there was more over collections, but
Yeah.
this is all we needed
Oh, okay.
to pay the bill. Number 629 is to appropriate funds to purchase a vehicle for county use, and these funds are being transferred from our CIP fund, and we're using funds that have not been expended prior. So that's an excess of collections in our CIP fund. Next one is number 640. This is from our sheriff's office, and this is to appropriate $4 worth of donations.
Big spender.
Number 642 is from our 911 fund, and this is to appropriate restricted fund balance for the portion of the Central Square CAD program that has been identified as eligible for these restricted fund use. Number 648 is for FEMA, and we're anticipating reimbursement of additional FEMA expenses in the amount of $1,305.14.
Where'd that come from? What department?
Sir,
What department did that come from?
this is FEMA. This is our FEMA expenditures. It's probably COVID-19 expenditures.
Okay.
Our next one is number 652 through number 681, and these are fire departments. This is to appropriate collections above what we budgeted and to put them in direct services so that we can pay these funds out to the fire districts.
Back up a little bit. A little bit more. All right, that's good.
This is each individual fire department.
So you're just truing up the tax revenues.
That were collected so that we can pay them out.
Right.
The next one is number 683, and this is from the Register of Deeds Office, and this is to
Hold on
anticipate.
just a moment. Let us scroll through there.
I'm sorry.
We got a lot of fire departments.
1, 4, 5, 6, something like that.
Okay, number 683 is from the Register of Deeds Office, and this is to appropriate over collection of revenues in order to pay appropriate fees to the state of North Carolina. So this was not all of the over collections, but just the amount we needed to pay to the state. The next one's number 689, and this is for our street lights, and this is to appropriate funds collected for street light assessments in order to pay the electricity bill.
And that's from where at?
We have 3 subdivisions that we're paying the street lights. We assess them on their taxes, and then we have to pay the bills. So there are enough over collections to pay that electricity bill.
Those are 3 neighborhoods that were previously in the city.
Right, yeah. Gotcha. Is that,
Number-
is that for the, what is that for a month, a year?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
What is that for, a month or a year? Or?
Oh, that's for the whole year.
Oh, dang.
That's for the whole year. And that's Ashby Hills, Buck Run, and Fallenbrook.
Gotcha. That'll work.
The next one's number 691, is from the library, and this, to account for reduction in grant revenues from the Raising a Reader program. They adjust this grant all through the year, and these were reductions in what we were to receive. Number 692 is from the Sheriff's Office, and this is to appropriate seized property collections for fiscal year 21-22. The next budget amendments are for the current fiscal year 22-23. And number 3 is from Services on Aging, and this is to appropriate funds to cover CNA salary increases to $15 an hour. Number 4 is from Literacy Connections, and this is to anticipate and appropriate a 3% salary increase as approved by the Literacy Board. So once again, this is pass-through money that we have to submit a budget amendment in order for us to anticipate the revenue they're going to pay us and pay out the salaries. Number 5 is from the Mapping Department, and this was to transfer unused FY 21-22 capital outlay funds for the Tax Mapping Department for the purchase of a plotter that broke and is too old for the company to make repairs. That's an amount of $5,500. The next one is number 9, and this is for wages, and this is to appropriate the FY 22-23 budget for them. So we anticipate the grant funds, and then we pay them out to wages. And that's the home and community care block grant for older adults, and it's for the Meals on Wheels program. The next one is number 10, and this is to appropriate the Jcpc funds. And you see there's several different programs that these monies are distributed to. We have number 18, and this is from the Health Department, and this is to allocate Healthy Beginnings program funds received from the Department of Health and Human Services in the amount of $73,878. Your next budget amendment is number 19, and this is from the Health Department, and this is to anticipate additional revenue collections in environmental health. These funds will be used to increase salaries for a vacant environmental health specialist position. Your next one is number 20, and this is for
I do want to point out on that one, and that is actually to increase that salary for a soil scientist
right.
that we'll have on staff here in Wayne County. Thank you.
Next one's number 20, and this is from the detention center, and this is to reappropriate SCAP funds that were received last year, and we're rolling them over into the current fiscal year. And this is for undocumented inmates. This program funds part of the expenses of that, so we have to roll that over from year to year. Your next budget amendment is number 22, and this is from Social Services. And this is to anticipate low-income water assistance program funds in the amount of $202,505. And that's it.
Well, that's enough. You've been rather busy.
Yes, sir.
Closing out one year and opening a new one.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, number 4 is, thank you, Janice. Number 4 is a motion to appoint voting delegates to the NCACC Annual Conference and the NCACC Legislative Goals Conference.
That will actually be at our meeting in August. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we need to select someone that actually be our voting delegate. Is there anyone that would like to volunteer to be the voting delegate?
Wayne's just vice chairman, you get going.
Well, I'm gonna be there.
We'll vote then.
Huh?
Vote.
Mr. Chair. That's what you get that extra $5 a month for.
Okay, if no objection, then I'll be glad to vote for us.
Okay. Number 5 is a motion to approve the sale of surplus properties at 205 Dickinson Street and 405 South Sycamore Street in Fremont, North Carolina, jointly owned by the town of Fremont and the county of Wayne, as requested by the town of Fremont. Don't know a whole lot about this. Did you look into it?
Look up the tax values and some information. Good morning. This request actually went to our clerk, from the clerk for Fremont. As you can see, there were 2 surplus properties. I looked those up. Their previous tax foreclosures that have been vacant. They jointly acquired in 2015, so they've been sitting for a while. My understanding is they solicited offers, went through the upset bid procedure, and now they've sent it over here for review. Just by way of information, there are some maps. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see maps of the property. That's 205 Dickinson. And then the next page is the Sycamore Street property. So the tax value for Dickinson is $1,930, and it looks like they've solicited an offer of $2,500, which is over tax value. And then for 405 South Sycamore Street, tax value was $3,610, and the sales price is $4,500. So pretty good sales price at this point, and then all proceeds would be split 50-50 between the county and the town of Fremont.
Okay, any questions? Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Number 6 is a motion to approve the Northwick Subdivision preliminary plat as recommended by the Wayne County Planning Board. I think Barry's here. Yep.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Northwick Subdivision. It is a preliminary plat, so it is the first of the process, or the start of the process. There are no improvements at this time. This is a proposed subdivision with 27 lots. This is on Antioch Road, if you're familiar with 111 North, as you head out past Northeast Elementary School. This will be at the next intersection and over on the right. They do have average lot sizes of 21,300 square feet. The planning board has reviewed this and does recommend approval. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 7 is a motion to approve the final subdivision plat for Jose Antonio Herrera subdivision as recommended by the Wayne County Planning Board.
All right, as mentioned, this is a final plat, so they are asking for final approval so they can go ahead and sell the lots. These are all roadfront lots, so there were no road improvements that were required. They do have a fire hydrant in place in front of the lots. They are proposing shared driveways, which are required by DOT. They do have 7 proposed lots. As you can see on the plan, this is off of, or actually directly on O'Berry Road, right there at the intersection of Herring Road. Planning Board has reviewed this request and does recommend approval.
What is the frontage on those lots?
Let's see. I've got a larger scale here I can
Please.
take a look at.
You can enlarge it.
Looks like 100 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like.
They're
it.
Yeah, really
100 foot.
100, and they're deep, so the lots are actually
Yeah,
a little about an acre in size is the average lot
They
size.
got a creek running through the back of it, don't they?
Yeah, it looks that way. Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 8. Thank you, Barry. Item number 8, a motion to adopt resolutions number 2022-24, amending the Wayne County Personnel Policy, Article 11, Section 3. Here? Are there any questions?
Good morning.
Good morning. We are requesting to update and simplify the language in the Wayne County Personnel Policy that addresses how employer and employee contributions are based. Right now, our policy outlines each individual pay type that we base our contributions on. And we're requesting to just remove those individual pay types and replace it with that the contributions will be based on gross salary as required by the local government retirement system. That's it. Any
Okay,
questions?
any questions?
Could you explain the gross salary, how, the math on that? I mean,
So we are required, employees are required to put in 6% of their base gross salary every month. And the county matches that at the rate that the retirement system sets for that year. And so it's based on their gross salaries.
how was it done?
It was done the same way, but the retirement system will occasionally update what pay types we're required to base that gross salary on. Does it include vacation? Does it include sick time, uniform payout, things like that? We have to base contributions on our policy, so to make sure that our policy is in alignment with the retirement system, we're asking to remove the individual pay types and base it on the retirement system recommendation.
Thank you, Junior.
Thank you.
Did I understand you to say that the contribution was based upon not only salary, but total benefits as well?
Yes, sir. Can we scroll up? You can see some of the pay types that it's based on: holiday pay, overtime, straight time, retro pay. So we just wanted to make sure we're including all of the pay that we are supposed to when it comes to those
And
retirement
they can
payments.
contribute up to 2% and we match up to 2%?
No, sir, that's 401K. This is the state pension plan. This is where employees are required to put in 6% for the state retirement.
Oh, okay. All right.
Any questions?
So it's not the 2% match?
No, sir.
Okay. That was the one we removed.
Correct.
Okay. I was a little confused. I apologize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 9 is a motion to include the words "and comments," quote unquote, to the Board of Commissioners committee reports on the Wayne County Board of Commissioners agenda as requested by Commissioner Foster.
Okay. Any questions?
I thought we removed that.
No,
We didn't remove that one. We did not remove that.
Okay.
Okay?
Moving to number 10 is a motion to adopt Resolution 2022-26, authorizing the donation of obsolete property to Samaritan's Purse.
Just a little bit of explanation on that.
Yes, sir, if you would, please, sir.
Because I think this is a great thing. I think we need to make sure everyone's aware of what's happening.
The sheriff's office reached out, Samaritan's Purse, which is based over in the mountains, I believe, out of Boone or Asheville. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's out in the mountains. They've initiated a program where they go through law enforcement agencies throughout the state of North Carolina to collect bulletproof vests that are no longer usable. And then they collect those, and they have a program underway where they are shipping those over to Ukraine for use by Ukrainian citizens and also the soldiers over there. I spoke to the sheriff's office, and I believe later this week, Samaritan's Purse is going to be making the rounds in eastern North Carolina, and they're collecting vests from a number of agencies up and down 95, and I think over in Pitt County as well. So we wanted to go ahead and get this on so that way while they're in town, they can get the ones that we have that we would otherwise destroy. And I did talk to the sheriff's office, and we confirmed we do not surplus these. We don't give them away. In fact, they actually burn them because they want to make sure that they don't end up in the hands in illegal activity and used on the street. So otherwise, these would just be burned and not used. So the sheriff's office thought this was a good program to get involved in. And under state statute, you can donate it to a nonprofit without consideration. And we've posted notice and requirement with the general statutes on that.
And at this point, we had, what was the number of vests that we were?
I believe it was 20 units. Yes, sir.
Okay, so these were normally going to be destroyed?
They were going to be destroyed, and I double-checked this morning. New, these are about $700 a piece, but obviously these have reached end of life and are no longer usable, so they don't have anywhere near that value.
Great. Any questions? Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That's it for the consent agenda.
Okay.
Moving on to new business. Of course, we removed item 1. We have a new item 1, which is the presentation on the quarter-cent sales tax proposal. We can just save that for the meeting if you'd like.
Yes.
And then item number 2 was one we added, which was a resolution supporting that quarter-cent sales tax.
And you all have a copy of that, that was,
Got a copy of it we can get to you. Then we move on to public comments, county manager's report, board of commissioners committee reports, a closed session, then adjournment. Remember, we want to adjourn here where we go eat lunch and then
I beg your
adjourn.
pardon?
We want to adjourn here, we'll have lunch at the Jeffries building and we'll adjourn, well, we'll have to adjourn from the jail, we'll recess.
Recess here, reconvene at the jail, and then adjourn after you finish your
The
tour.
jail tour.
okay. So we are having lunch at the Jeffries building.
At the Jeffries building, yes.
With our interns. Great, great.
We do need a closed session now if we have time.
Do we have time?
Yes.
All right, do I have a motion, we go into closed session? All right, we have a motion to go into closed session. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand.
Purposes to discuss matters.
All right. I know y'all all got settled, now we're gonna ask you to leave. You don't mind. You can leave your sign here.